Welcome to this channel. So I got questions from a Wing Chun friend this morning asking me, why do I know all the stuff I'm presenting in this channel? Asking me, am I making things up? If what I'm presenting is the truth, how come the Grandmaster in past 100 years never present this? So today I like to share with you, why do I know this? Why do I know all the stuff which I present in this channel and know it is the truth? The first thing, of course, it is because I'm lucky. In the Chinese, he say that 富学武，穷学文. It means if you want to study martial arts, you need to be from a rich family or well-to-do family. And the poor family studying the literature stuff. So that's the saying in China. If you want to study martial arts, you need to have a lot of money to support that. Okay? And I'm lucky that just because I'm lucky, I was born in a well-to-do family which can support me to do the research and also to look for the teacher and study with many different teachers. And of course, having an education in the United States, working in Silicon Valley with the top mind in the world, and also have the ability to get informations, or lucky to be able to get all the information, historical information on one side and science on the other side. So the first thing is plain lucky. Okay. The second thing, of course, because we do it in the Western way. You got the data, and you let the data converge by itself. The data from multiple sources. That's how scientific study is. You don't trust a single person. You don't believe in what you believe. You look into different data, and you see the common denominator. That's engineering too. That's the scientific way. So you can take the history data and look at it. You look for past 500 years and so and see what happened. And that's the second. The third one is now we live in a world which have a very advanced science and technology compared with the ancient. So we can verify the data from the ancient with science. So number one is I'm just plain lucky. Not that I'm better than you guys. No, there's no such thing. I'm just lucky you're born in a family like this, and then you get the teacher and so forth, so forth, so forth. And people teach you so that you learn. The second is you got the history data from multiple sources. You verify them. You study them. The third one is using science to verify whatever is finding. Now, this is the three really important reason why I know what I'm knowing. The fourth reason is extremely critical. Without the fourth reason, the first three will not bring me to today's conditions. So what it is? It is the training in Buddhism. Those of you who study Buddhism know. It is the samatha and vipassana training. We all know in Buddhism, if you study deep inside there, one need to develop this samatha and vipassana. Samatha means calmness. Vipassana means awareness. So the analogy is this. Human, the thinking and so forth, is like the body, physiological states, and the mind state is like a muddy water, okay, using the Buddhism analogy. Muddy water. You practice the samatha, which is the stillness or calmness, which is you let the water, the muddy water, the mud in the muddy water sink down so that the water becomes clear. That is the practice of samatha. And then when the samatha get into a certain level, you start be able, due to the water is clean, you be able to see the sky clearly, and you can see the whatever in the water clearly. This is vipassana. Okay? So in Buddhism, you always have to study samatha, and then you arrive to vipassana, and you continue on the vipassana, both and the samatha, to develop that awareness or the mindfulness, the real mindfulness. Okay? Not like today's mindfulness can be anything. Today's mindfulness is, it never really touch into samatha or vipassana. It's just spinning on the head. It's like the muddy water stirring around. That's what people think today. Oh, I want to have this mindfulness. I have to think this way, that way. Now, so with the samatha and vipassana training, one be able to see the thing without with the very minimum hindrance of one's body and one's mind. That is what it is for the training of vipassana and samatha. So there's a term called what? Samadhi. Okay? Now, of course, I'm not those monks which is enlightenment and everything, but I have those training from my teacher. Many of you who in this channel, follow this channel, you know I have many teachers in Buddhism. This is real monk, okay? Now, if one develop this samatha and vipassana, one will be able to see what it is instead of taking oneself or self-righteous. Like people today talk about like it is a philosophy, you don't want self-righteousness because you practice Buddhism, you have this mindfulness. Well, how to get there? There's a problem today. People never really tell you what it is. Because why? Because they never practice it. So if you practice samatha vipassana, you know you are mindful and everything. If you are bullshitting, you know you are bullshitting. If your body is function a different way, you know. That's awareness. That's mindfulness. Okay. So, anybody want to know about samatha vipassana? Years ago, I already wrote a book. And inside there, I even make all this graph, try to do it in a quantized way so people can see what's going on. So get the book. Okay, this is really low cost. It's purposely doing low cost because for education. So it is because of this number 4, the training of samatha and vipassana, that lead me to be able to know what the ancient monks or the creator of the Siêu Liêm Thảo 1850 do. Okay? So it's not just using Hendrik thinking, my idea, my opinion, like today. You talk about tucking the tailbone. 10 billion people have 10 billion reasons. Why? Why they still believe that tucking the tailbone? Some have their sensations when they're tucking the tailbone, so they took that as the truth. Some have their belief, saying that because their grandmaster says so, so that is the truth. If you really have vipassana and samatha practice, you just look into that, you say, no, if I do that, my breathing cannot function. My body cannot function. And you can see, oh, even though you don't know this term called pelvic floor muscle, you say, something is moving, got to move there. If it's not moved there, in dynamic, it doesn't work. That's what it is. And the reason why I can point or create that categorization of 6 core elements, 6, 13, 3, as you can read in my book, the Basic Wing Chun Art and Science. That is because based on that, the training of samatha and vipassana, and after you have that training, you get the first 3 conditioning. You need to be lucky. You got the data. You got the science. The entire thing verifies itself. So you see very clearly what it is. Okay? It is not an opinion. You see exactly what it is. That's what mindfulness is. So if you say no self, there's no self. You are not hindrance there anymore. Your physiology and your psychology or your mind thinking is not hindrance you, because now you look, this is not true. If I tucking my tailbone and if you don't like it, you just go look into the science. Say, well, if they want to, there are many people need to rehab their say their lower abdomens or their pelvic floor and so forth. You look at how they train and you verify. You can verify. But at first is you need to have the samatha, vipassana, or the calmness and the awareness to see through it. That's why, there's a reason why I can see through that Siêu Liêm Thảo is not what people think today. Because it doesn't work in human body. And there's also why many people you see in the YouTube, they can mimic whatever my Siêu Liêm Thảo. I can send you all my video in the Siêu Liêm Thảo. You still not be able to get it. Why? Because you don't have the samatha and vipassana training. You don't know what is inside there. So most people today in internet is talking about this internal chi mind power. If you have a samatha and vipassana training, you get inside there. You see, you look into that, observe that, contemplate that, and you see, is it true? And if this is true, can you repeat it? Can you verify it with science? Can you verify it with what the history say, history data. That's why years ago when I said snake engine, everybody will go study snake engine, and somebody will go do Tai Chi, and somebody go practice Zhuang. Well, you don't get it, sorry. Why? Because you don't have that to look inside what it is. What does it do? You have only the belief or put yourself into the center of the universe, thinking your sensation is proper. Thus, you will not be able to verify with the ancient. In ancient, in Zen, everybody heard about that. The Buddha passed down the mind seal of Zen, of enlightenment. So whoever enlightenment got to go to the patriarch at that time to verify it, to have a certifications. You read, it's like in the Sixth Patriarch Sutta. And of course, I'm not that level. I'm just, beginner kindergarten guy. But this is what it is. If you have the samatha and vipassana training, you look at the ancient stuff, you look at what they talk, you even can look at the video, scan their people's signature, and you can see, is it or is it not? So, you cannot copy it if you are not there. And that's why I'm keeping using the 6 core element. Why? Because I know most of people in this world do not have that training. They don't. So I purposely make it like educations. Make it systematic, element by element. So one can look into each element and analyze what they look at. And of course, if they study it, if you really study the 6 core element, you are actually really beginning to study the vipassana and samatha. Because whatever the thing, now you become aware of each core elements. So the guy who study the vipassana and samatha, they be able to see through that 6 core element. And even though we don't study the vipassana and samatha, we be able to know what it is. And then the more we investigate into samatha vipassana, the more we investigate into the 6 core element, the more we get close to the samatha and vipassana. So the entire thing, what I'm sharing with you here in this channel, based on one thing. It's based on Buddhism, samatha and vipassana. Okay, so that's why I'm so sure. It doesn't matter if General Chi Chi Guang is here. It doesn't matter the creator of the Yikam Xiu Lim Tao or the Red Boat Xiu Lim Tao is here, or Yikam himself, or whoever. Vipassana, samatha is vipassana, samatha. If it is, it is. If it is not, it is not. Okay? So, it is not about I'm some kind of grandmaster or what. It's not. It's all study. You learn from different things. And then you just tell what it is. If one don't go through this, like the 6 core element, aware of every element and so forth, and really develop that core elements, the awareness there, one can watch all my video and mimic it, and one still not be able to know what it is. One can read all my books, and still one will not be able to know what it is. That is the truth. But if one go for Vipassana and Samatha, then one be able to see what I'm talking about. This is not logic. This is just aware, and you look at the thing, and then you just describe what that is. And if the description is properly, you can repeat it. You can get result. If the description is not proper, you will not be able to get result. So in the past 100 years, they cannot get result in internal art, in all this thing. Why? Because most people take themselves as the truth, do not see the big picture. They don't look into the history. They don't look into the science. They don't really look into what is the real Buddhism training. Everybody will say, hey, this is Zen. Okay, somebody will say, Zen is detached. Do you know what is Zen? Have you practiced, trained in the Vipassana and Samatha? If you're not, that's what they call talking Zen, empty words. Well, so it's not easy way to learn that. How many times I get screamed by my Zen teacher, say, Hendrik, shut up if you don't know it. Shut up. Yeah, my Zen teacher do that to me. In front of hundreds of people, monks and nuns and lay people say, you shut up here on if you don't know what you're talking about. That's when I was age 23. Okay? In a lecture hall of the Buddhism. I stood up there, the teacher asked me to stand up, and so I talked to him and so forth. So you go through all this. So this is open in public. There's no secret. Today's Chinese martial art, including Wing Chun, have not go to that details as the ancient anymore. Just don't kid ourselves. Today's thing in Kung Fu and so forth is based on opinion. Most is baseless. Baseless because it is go off topic. When Chi Chi Guang talk about momentum, handling of the momentum, you need the breathing to handle momentum. What do? Stand there. I want to have this 站桩. I want to play things slowly. And I have this jing and the qi. You have the manpower. You'll be able to push and pull. While completely missing momentum, the power, the input shoot in, the breathing capacity and the intense or the strength of inhale and exhale. How are you going to play? So Chinese Kung Fu is over. You look at that. When people talk about, Chi Chi Guang talk about distance, angle, and level, guess what Chinese Kung Fu is talking about? Hand techniques called Tan Sao, called Tiger Crawl, or called Peng Sao, or Peng Jing, all sort of stuff. Chi Chi Guang told you already, whatever it come in, you better get to the angle, distance, and level you intend to. Don't mess around with what he's striking you. That's why he said that never block and never resist. Your job is to go into the angle, the distance, the level, which is benefit for you, advantage for you, not standing down there, this hand, that hand, this hand, that hand. So, what is Chinese Kung Fu? Watching too much movie. Okay? So this is what I like to share with you. You want to know what is my secret? There's no secret. This is what it is. we get to this point in Kung Fu is because nobody is serious in study. No professional. Everybody using themselves as the best, as the universe, the lure of universe. And that show there is no samatha and vipassana training there. Sorry, don't call it Buddhist art or Shaolin art. You don't have that training. You don't have that basic. You just mimic thing. That is the truth. So today I share with you the entire thing. I have no secret. I can open this in the public. Let those who is in 100 years later to know I leave this message for them. If you don't have the samatha and vipassana, you're going to get into some kinds of self-righteousness. Sure, when the condition is right, you can be a CEO, you can be a president, you can be a chief scientist, you can be a grandmaster. But the condition is not right. Then you fall down to really low. It's like that Wei Lei before Xi Xiaodong. She was have this television show in China and so forth, so forth. But once he met Xi Xiaodong, after that challenge, what is he now? Nothing. So all of this, you also the samatha and vipassana, you also can sum into one thing. It's called you need to be scientific of what you're doing, based on scientific, rational, and objective. Not based on I like to do this, I claim this, which is baseless.